Welcome to the Real Spill, where we spill the tea. I'm Rachel James, and let's get into it. Today's segment will be a little bit different. I have the pleasure of speaking with an amazing poet from my hometown, Detroit, and I will let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit of what he does.
Man, it's an honor to be here. My name is Jeremy. I'm a poet. I'm a youth basketball coach. I property manage here in the city, 2 buildings down in the downtown area. I'm a little bit of a renaissance man. I do it all. I do taxes, whatever you need, I'm there for you. But like she said, I've been in this poetry scene for about a year and a half now, and it's been a beautiful ride.
It's so dope that you're doing all these activities and all these different hustles. So what made you want to be a basketball coach for the children in Detroit?
Well, I mean, I'm a basketball player myself, so I understand, like, firsthand that impact that my coaches had on me and the game had on me, teaching me camaraderie, teaching me, discipline, teaching me, how to fail and how to get back up. So I think a lot of those things are beautiful character building tools. And since it was poured into me, I wanted to pour it back to the community. Real big on, not doing a lot of talking, but a lot of walking. And, our city, we get put in a bad light, and,
Right.
Especially in the media headlines and all of that. But it's a lot of wonderful things going on here. It's a lot of people working and pushing. And, I just wanted to be a part of that. So I've been, mentoring and working with youth for a couple years now, whether, it be in a nonprofit or AmeriCorps. So, it was already, just 2 and 2. I needed to get into the game. I wanted to coach, and here we are. So I coach 5th and 6th grade boys basketball. Kind of had a couple 3rd and 4th graders on the team, but it's good, watching them learn the game.
Right. That's so great and inspiring. Do you feel like in the long run, would you open up your own nonprofit that will actually work with children like this? Because you said you worked with other nonprofits. Would you start your own?
Oh yeah, of course. And I work with several different ones here in the city of Detroit. The Greening of Detroit, Hey Y'all Detroit. Trying to think, Protect Detroit's Future. So it's a couple of different ones. Black Man Build. So I'm definitely looking to get my own started and making my own wave around here.
That's so dope. Our community definitely needs it. So going to your poetry. So I actually met you at the Black Love poetry night. That was really dope. I had such an amazing time, especially because I came back home for the holidays and to see family. So this was like a great experience. My boyfriend this was his first time actually going to Detroit. So being able to take him to an event like this is so great. So you said you've only been into poetry for about a year and a half. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Do you come from like a literary background?
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I'm more of a math guy. I'm more of a numbers. I love numbers and stuff like that. But I will say I've been performing for about a year and a half. I've been writing for like 5 or 6 years. At first just a way to just express myself and in a healthy way. And then I also have a background in film, so I edit videos and curate stories and things of that nature. So I guess you could say maybe I do have a little bit of a writing background. I did radio. I went to Michigan State University, so go green. But so there I did radio. I was a part of a retention group on campus called Advantage. So, to help out the, freshmen and sophomores and offer them, tools and a space, a safe space to, be themselves on a PWI.
Right.
So, but, this journey last summer, I was kind of going through a hard time, and I turned to poetry again as an outlet, and I haven't stopped since, man. It's been beautiful. The poetry community here is strong. Shout out to Joel Fluent. That's what event it was. If anybody wants to follow somebody who's constantly putting on poetry events, constantly putting on for the community. But it's just been a beautiful journey, man. I'm happy. I'm grateful. Happy people are receptive to the messages that I'm putting out, and now I guess I can, as much as I'm walking, I can do some talking.
Right. I completely understand. So this leads me to writing. So you stated you're a math person. So what made you go from math to writing? That's like a totally different spectrum. So what made you get from math to writing?
I've always enjoyed reading, and I've enjoyed writing in school and stuff. Writing papers, especially papers that needed research or persuasive papers. Because it allows you opportunity to really bend your thought and a space to captivate the reader. So I always love being able to do that. And I excelled at it. It's just I think that as we grow, we evolve and we add more pieces to ourselves. So one day you look up and you say, yeah, I'm a numbers guy. And the next day you look up, I'm a writer. Oh, the next day you wake up, I'm looking into starting gardening and stuff. Like, when you come home in the summertime, you got to check out a lot of these urban farms around here. We big in that, so I'm, it's about, evolving. And
right.
I've always enjoyed myself with it.
So when it comes to poetry, what really started you on your journey to become a poet and to continue your career strong?
I think, just ties into just who I am as a whole. I love connecting with community, man, and I see it as a powerful way for community building to happen, to get to express yourself in a healthy and safe way, and not violent or aggressive or anything of that nature. And I think what keeps pushing me is that I see a real end goal with this. I know some things that I want to do. I want to get published. I want to, start making videos to my poetry, and I want to be a part of the wave that is going to come out of Detroit. We're going to have a big poetry scene come out, and we're going to make this thing as big as rap, and big as R&B, as big as acting. We're going to make this big, and it's, I want to be a part of that.
Absolutely. Poetry to me, I've always been a fan of poetry. As a kid, I would write it here and there, but I really like to read poetry books because they're very soothing and it just helps overall. So do you believe it's different or not as popular to be a male in poetry?
That is a good question. That is a good question. I don't know, man. I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's different, right? I love my sisters, but they definitely outweigh us in the community for sure. But it's not a bad thing, man. I think it's I think the best rooms are the ones that have both energies. They both have the masculinity and they both have the femininity in there. And it's, like the show that we had on Friday, it was a good balance of, man and female, and our views on each other, our views on the world, our views on love. So, I think for myself, I know when I do go in the rooms, I don't feel like the gender thing really matters that much, because I think that we all are just like, we poets. So what your words talking about? You know what I mean? Your words are androgynous. They always gonna be androgynous. So anybody can feel it, man or female. Um, I will say that I don't know too many male poets, that have made it to a like national level or a, you know what I mean? But again, like I said, this whole genre itself, I think, is just evolving and it's coming out on top. It's been more of a like an underground thing. You gotta find the spots to go to, but they just opened up a category at the Grammys for poetry this year. So that's big news, and it's a couple male candidates and it's a couple female candidates. So I don't feel you know what I mean? I think it's fun sometimes when you could do the battle of the genders, anything you can do, I can do better. Right. You know what I mean? Especially like, when we having fun and doing like erotic pieces and stuff. You want to, you like that. You like that little competition, a little competitive edge, but I think it's a healthy one.
Absolutely. Do you feel as though, or is the Grammys your end goal? Like, would you like to be able to go there? That's something that you want to get an award for one day?
It would be nice. I don't think it's nothing like I'm like if I don't make it, I'm gonna feel disappointed, or I think if anything, I wanted to win an NBA championship, but I know that's not finna happen. But we gonna try. We can shoot for it. You know what I mean? I think the work is going to speak for itself, and you know what I mean. That's what the Grammys, that's what award shows are for. When people have put that work in, they put that grind in, they should be recognized. You know what I mean? And I haven't done enough work yet, but I'm going to do the work. And hey, one day you might see me up there. You know what I mean? Representing the city. So.
Representing Detroit, absolutely. So going back to the male population, do you feel as though other men should give it a try for underlining feelings or thoughts that they might have?
Oh yeah, of course. Because you literally, poetry could be anything could be poetry. Shout out to Caesar. And it's a matter of like, you literally can write whatever. You know what I mean? However you feeling, you can get it out. You know what I mean? And you can be creative with it, or you can just be raw and direct with it. There's no right or wrong with this. You know what I mean? And it is a healthy way and a quick way, because you could do it anywhere. You know what I mean? You can whip your phone out and write something, or you can, if you're old fashioned and you like pen and paper, carry you a little journal around or something. You know what I mean? And just, write. I'll be, sometimes some of my pieces, how they come together, I don't just sit down and write all of them in one sitting. Sometimes, I have done that before, but sometimes, I might just be out and had an interaction or roll past something, or you know what I mean, and it inspired a few lines, and I just wrote it down. You know what I mean? So I definitely encourage young men, men period, no matter the age, man, get right, for sure, right.
Absolutely. I feel like whenever I did poetry and would write it, it would be like in my notes randomly. But it definitely helped me, and I feel like more men should try it, because it's definitely an avenue to help underlining issues or problems that person might be going through. So when it comes to writing poems, what inspires you? Q got us through the stages of writing a poem.
Yeah. Like I said, I think more so a lot of the pieces, especially the pieces that I read out loud, because I think that's a big thing that you should understand if you want to, do poetry, perform, that some things are just for your book and at home, and some things are for the stage, So I think that when I start writing, whatever I get inspired by. I know one piece, I was riding home on the bus, late night, car problems, whatever, had to get home, right? And I'm sitting there and it was nighttime, and the city is quiet at night, on the weekdays and stuff like that. And it's just nice to kind of just ride through and look at it and see some of the historical things and have, remember some of the memories you done had around here. So I sat that whole bus ride and wrote that piece all the way through. You know what I mean? But sometimes, like I said, I might be riding and driving and listening to something, or just see something or have interaction in the store, and I might say a couple lines in my head and then get to my phone and write them down. And if it fits a certain concept, because that's also big. You want to kind of, not everything has to have a concept, you know what I mean? But if you want to, really exercise this, tool, you want to challenge yourself, you know what I mean? That's, there's a bunch of different writing styles, there's a bunch of different painting styles, it's a bunch of different interview styles, you know what I mean? And it's like, you want to learn your whole toolkit. So, and then the last thing is being inspired by my peers, man. You go out and you listen and you just hear some fire poetry, you just hear some things, and it's like, man, that just opened my mind some, and it makes you dig a little deeper, you know what I mean? And just like at the show, how her mind is Peace Bell, the woman poet that went up with Joel, and she said she was inspired by his poem about women, and that made her write a poem about men. And same thing with me. I got a poem about Black women because I love y'all. Everything about y'all are, top of the mountain, the honey in the jar, So it's inspiration comes from everywhere, man. It's just it'll be hard to like really make it like a concrete thing, like writing a paragraph where it's like, writing an essay where you got the 5 paragraphs, you got your intro, you got your it don't even go like that. It don't go like that. You know what I mean? But you will feel it if you keep doing it. You will feel it. And like I said, the biggest thing for sure is going out and listening to people, understanding, what people like to hear or whatever the case is, or learning what a cadence is and what your own cadence and what your voice is. That's really the biggest thing. I'm sorry, let me backtrack on that. Learn what your voice is first. And I think I found my voice. I think I know who I am. I like to touch on, deep issues, political issues and stuff, but I also like to have fun. You know what I mean? I love to have fun, and I love to, when I get a chance to mix the two or just do that and, do this one on its own lane. So that's me, finding your voice, then just getting out there and writing, and don't stop yourself.
Going to some of your writings, for instance, the one that really struck me the most, it was your last piece, where I think you were talking about your partner. Can you give us a little bit of point of view on what made you write that one? That one was very fun. I really liked it. It was very interesting. So give us a little spill on that, and just tell us what she inspired you. So give us, why did you write about her? What made you write about her?
That kind of competitiveness came into it too. She writes, and she is an amazing writer. She's an actress. So we go back and forth on some things, and after a night, I felt extra inspired, and I sat down and got to writing, what I mean? And like I said, I like to have fun, and it was time for me to write another erotic piece and stuff. I'm not only got a handful of erotic pieces. It's not like, I like doing it. It's fun to hear or whatever, but I need to write some more. But I think this one, like I said, was just I was just having fun with it, and it did come from somebody that, that makes me feel like that makes me feel joyous, that makes me feel like, I want to please her in every sense, you know what I mean? And take my time while doing it. That's kind of why I was at with it. Because, I want to respect all of her, not just a piece of her.
Absolutely. That's so cute. So how do you manage to fit writing and doing these shows into your everyday life and your demands of your time and your other parts of your life, are you good at managing your time?
I will say right now, to be truthfully honest, I suck. I could be a lot better. That's one thing I gotta. It's good that you say that, because you gotta kind of you kind of gotta balance this with your regular everyday life, and you gotta stay on the opportunities. Sometimes you gotta. I mean, I feel like you would know. Having your own podcast, having to go to school and be a person, and be a student and be a family member. You know what I mean? But we still got our own ambitions and that we chasing after, man. So I'm gonna keep doing that regardless. But I definitely got to get better with the time and got to get better with. And that's one of my goals for this new year coming up, starting at the top of the year, just really managing my time all the way from the time I get up to the time to go to sleep, and managing my bookings, because bookings are starting to come in now, and I need to get some new headshots. I need it's just little stuff, you know what I mean? But I still get out here. I still go to open mics to practice. You know what I mean? That's also a good thing you should do if you're trying to get into poetry. Just start going to open mics, and start working out, because it's like the gym. You know what I mean? And all the artists, the rappers, and the singers, they know. But as poets, you can go. As a comedian, you can go. So yeah, man, that's one of my goals coming up, man. Just getting real better with time or whatever. I made sure I was on time for this stuff. Made sure I was on time for the real spill. We're gonna make time for the real spill.
Right. Who are your favorite living poets that you would say?
My favorite living poets.
And do you have any other than yourself?
Yeah, that's cool. That's yeah, you could say that. Yeah. But right now my favorite poets are the ones, man. My guy Sheezy Bo Beezy, Hakeem, my guy Soulful Poetry, and then I gotta throw a couple ladies in there. Love Dami, Oceana, you know what I mean? Kay. They all like, you feel me? They all my favorites. They all have fun with it. They all, Sheezy got, I'm talking about, he got some stuff that'll touch your soul and make you think. Soul is the love brother. Soul number one, Barry White. You know what I mean? Hakeem is people's poet. So, he always coming with that energy, So I think, I'm a fan of all of them, man. They my favorites right now. And then, on a more national level, shout out to Jay Ivy, man. He's, like I said, he really pushing the barrier. He really getting out there. And I would say Kendrick too, man. Kendrick is a poet. You know what I mean? If you listen to his albums, he takes the time to do a little bit of spoken word and, break it down. And, shout out to Hakeem again, because rap is nothing but an acronym for rhythm and poetry. You know what I mean? And, Kendrick does it very, very well. So, shout out to that.
Absolutely. It's such a blessing for you. I see it that all these bookings that you spoke about, that you're being able to receive and that you've been receiving. Can you tell us about the difference between just writing it down on paper and actually speaking and performing in front of people? How does it feel now that it's like you're a year and so in? How does it feel from the beginning to like now?
At first, I think every time, I'm you're a little bit nervous, you know what I'm saying? But that means you living. That means you there. You know what I mean? I think at first was just learning how to control a room. You know what I mean? I think that's been the biggest growth for me is, getting up there and, really just, making people laugh, making people pay attention, acknowledging people, or, when stuff goes left or somebody laughing too much or they want to talk back at me, I can jump in and jump out, now. And at first I couldn't do that. At first I was reading off my phone, you know what I mean? That was that was a journey to do, just to practice and learn and keep practicing, you know what I mean? And I had to keep telling myself that if I could remember somebody else's rap song, I could remember my own poetry, you know what I mean? So I had to, I had to get over that hill. I don't think I had too much of afraid of, being in front of people, just because I got a radio background. I coach and stuff, and, so I talk in front of people a lot. I do property management. So I talk in front of people a lot. So I think that helped with it. If you got a customer service job or something, you're talking with a lot of people, that'll help with you translate on stage. And I think now, like I said, man, the biggest thing, I just feel comfortable. It's like, I could just go in there and put it on autopilot and just do it, and it's been like, I feel like I'm grateful for the opportunity, because I don't have like a manager. I don't have you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a huge following, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still out here, I'm still working, we still getting to it. So
still grinding is what you really have to do. That's why I really wanted to connect with you, be able to be the first, or maybe one of the first people to interview one of these big poets that will come out of Detroit. Just be able to speak with you about just your journey itself. So
I appreciate it.
I thank you for actually interviewing with me.
No problem.
Can you give any advice to someone who wants to write and start performing, like today, tomorrow?
First, find your voice. Second, go to open mics, wherever they at. Go to them. Go to them frequently. You know what I mean? Don't just go 1 week and then don't show up for like 2 months later. I keep going. I know they get costly though, so go within your budget. Keep writing. Always write. Don't stop writing. Know that your pieces may evolve. When you first write it, and after the first couple of times of performing it, you might hear a line or two that, like, all right, that don't really go there, or I could probably say this and this will go better in there. So let your poetry evolve when it needs to. And then, don't be scared. Just get out here. Don't be scared. Just get out here. Don't be scared. Just get out here.
Can't be scared for something that you really want to do and put public.
Mm-hmm.
So for our audience in Michigan, or just in general, if you're touring, or when you start wanting to tour, where can we see you next? Where's your next performance that we can openly be able to get to?
Right now, we're trying to figure out the booking. I got a show coming up in Westland at La Rosa Cigar Lounge, a black-owned cigar lounge out in the sticks. So that's that's a fun room to be in. Working on the particulars for a feature at 90s Knowledge Cafe down in Detroit. And then I'm sure, next time Joe has a slam, I'm jumping on that. And then, we putting together, I almost forgot, we putting together a show in New York. We finally gonna take this out. Yeah, we're gonna take this poetry outside the state lines and go out to New York. My guy, Naeem, aka Suze, he a tattoo artist out there or whatever. He do, paint and sips and things. So we gonna infuse the paint and sip with the poetry. That's tentative date right now in April of next year. So like I said, man, next year that's why I say I gotta get my time management together, because got to start booking flights and booking Airbnbs and all of that kind of stuff, and figuring out what talent I'm taking with me. Because the end game, like we was talking about earlier, is not just about a Grammy. It's about like I said, pushing this genre to the forefront. You know what I mean? And I don't want it to be just about me. I throw shows myself. I threw a show October 15th called Say Word. So one of those is coming up soon too, January. So you catch me, just follow me. You know what I mean? You catch me.
Before we end our segment, is there any new poems you could give us a sneak peek of?
Any new poems I can give you a sneak peek of? Ooh, let's see. Yeah, we can see. Yeah, working on a couple different things. So let me see. Hold on, give me a second. You put me on the spot, huh?
No worries. I kind of just threw that one out there to see if there was anything.
I guess I'm gonna really have to let you go. Holding on to broken pieces of my heart, enduring cuts of surviving life after you, holding on to memories like old DVDs, knowing technology then sped this heartbreak process up. I literally just have to swipe left, hoping to find the right one, or scroll up to find the next one to hold me down. When in reality, shit's too surreal for me that we know enough, broken promises, that we know enough will never be enough. Broken promises, straws that broke backs, and I'm still hoping you'll take me back. Pitiful pitfalls into the paint, grabbing whatever rebound slid my way on to Mr. Bunny, who made the game easy. 2 peas, 1 pod, that's what I thought I was harvesting before we ripen. All right, yeah, that's, I don't read too much. I ain't finished with that one at all. But,
That was so good.
Okay.
That was so good. Thank you so much for interviewing me. Is there any last words you'd like to give the Real Still family?
Man, follow your dreams. Be intentional. Being intentional is being free. So always, do things with attention. So for the people, go and look that word up. If you don't know what it is, and it's okay. But layman's terms, get up off your ass and get to it. Okay? Always get to it. Don't half-ass it. I appreciate you for this opportunity. I'm proud of you for being out there and, following your dreams and following what drives you and what inspires you. I wish you much success wherever your end goal is. And, poetry is everything. And Detroit is going to be on the map. Y'all going to see us. What up, though? East Side, we in here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for interviewing me today. I just wanted to show the amazing talent that Detroit, Michigan has to offer. Thank you so much.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you.